So, good evening, everybody. So, apologies for the late start. That's because they've got a new rotor at work, and some of my shifts finish a bit later now. And I was supposed to finish at 10 to 8 today, and I really didn't think I'd be able to make it for 8 o'clock. I wanted to do it for 8:15, but YouTube only gives me the option to do on the hour or half hour. But we're here now. We have the issue. So, I better introduce my co host. Here's Horlicks.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone this evening?
And well, I'm good. How are you? What have you been up to?
I've been all right. Yeah.
Not good.
No, I'm all right. Yeah, just been a busy day at work today, and I've just had a bit of a panic with the 3D printer, but that's resolved now. And
good.
Yeah, no, that's that's it really.
So our third guest for tonight, our third host for tonight is the one and only Dave Say.
Oh, hello everybody. Oh, what's gone wrong now?
As I lifted my hand up, I just caught my Oreo screwdriver holder.
Oh dear.
It's just gone flying everywhere.
Well, it's a big hello from me from the sticks here in Yorkshire.
How is what's the weather like? Because it's
absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. About 60 mile an hour gusts of winds, raining, and very, very muddy out here, I can tell you.
Yeah. Well, I've just had a weather warning come through on my phone. I have Google, it tells me weather warnings, and it's just given me a yellow warning for wind. And I thought, well, it could be worse because in a couple of months' time we could get a yellow snow warning.
Yes, we could. Yeah.
Sorry. I was trying to drink a cup of coffee as I said that. Right. Okay. So, got a new T-shirt, guys. Hope you like it.
Great.
Let's see who's the first one to comment. Now, unfortunately, because of situations beyond his control, Horlicks is only with us till 9:30. Right. So we are going to have to crack on with the build.
Yeah.
So, would you like to do that now, Horlicks?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I have found all of my Oreo bits.
Oh, good.
So, right, okay. Well, I'll change my camera. Do you know what? I can't remember how we do this now. Right. So, what I'll do is I'll show you the grand opening of the bag. Adrian, the lovely Adrian who helps us every week, he's actually not got his issue this week. So I've had to scan my issue in. But that's fine. I mean, obviously any help better than PJ's. Johnson, my seats for the Newport build, the original plan, obviously I've not seen these seats yet. As you can see, I'm opening them now. But what I was kind of hoping to do was to recover them in green leather, sort of a bottle green color. But until I know what I'm dealing with, I really don't. Look, we've got 3 packs of the same screw here. So, but yeah, until I know what I'm actually dealing with, I just do not know. So I am ready whenever you are then, Horlicks.
Okay, so
lift this up a bit. Right, so
44A is a left seat frame.
Okay, would you mind if we actually had a look?
Oh God, yeah. Sorry. Might help.
You're not actually going to like these seats this week, Horlicks.
No.
I'm sorry. Because didn't you make the speculation that we're going to be sewing them on with a little needle and thread?
Yeah, I thought we'd be there with a sewing needle.
Yeah, I was looking forward to a 1 to 12 scale needle and thread, but sadly not to be. You can be quiet, Dave. I haven't started picking on you yet.
Nearly as bad as yellow snow.
Yeah, never eat yellow snow. Best piece of advice I've never given. And the other one, my granddad's one of his best sayings was, "Nearly only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades."
Oh, yes.
Right. Okay. These seats are very authentic because they're rock solid. They're actually really nice. I'll come to that in a moment.
Yeah, we haven't got to the seats yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't wait. I've been waiting for these seats.
Yeah. Right. No.
You know,
Okay.
I sit down all day long. You know, my life revolves around the excitement of seats.
Right. So 44A. Oh God, my computer's not behaving. 44A is a left seat frame.
Okay, well, I've got a muddle with my screens now. Right, so let me get my magazine out, just so that I can look at my magazine, but pretend I'm looking at you. Right, so we have got... right, aha! Right, so this has got an L on it. So 44A is a left seat frame. So this might be it.
Yes.
It might not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
That is part
That's
44H.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you now. Right, so this is 44A, and you can tell from the rounded grab rail there. Grab rail. So that is part 44A. So I shall place that there. Okay, sorry, that's made of plastic. It's all 100% plastic. You've got grey painted bottom and you've got silver painted top. Okay.
Okay. 44B is the right seat frame with socket.
Right, and that will be this one, because it's got an R on it and it's got a little blobby bit on the top.
Socket.
So this is obviously going to be the rail on the top.
Handrail.
Handrail. That's the one. Yes. Stop picking on me, Dave. Can you see why I invite Dave Say every
yeah.
4 weeks?
Well, I was laughing to myself because I said right seat frame with socket, and you went, "Oh, this has got a blobbly bit on the top."
It's a blobby bit.
A socket.
I'm trying to use a language that everybody will understand. The smart people out there, like yourselves, will understand socket, but just in case, it's a blobby bit.
Yeah. No, I get. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, you're just making that up to make me feel good, aren't you?
No. I know there's one person that might appreciate that. Right. Okay. 44C is seat supports, and there's 4 of those.
So these look like some kind of alien leg things. I can just see this, you know.
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. That's the one. These are plastic, so I'm going to be a little bit wary because obviously we've seen the pic last week. We saw the picture of this week, and if this is all that's going to support them temporarily, I'm going to be wary. I'll be honest with you there. So, but we'll see what happens. So that is, I don't know which way round they're going to go. They're actually not level. Can you see they go on the her? That's a technical word, on the her. No, I'm not saying the rest of us are thick. Just me. So I'll put those there. I don't know which way round they're going to go at the moment. Okay, what's next?
Okay, so 44D is left seat cushion, and there should be 2 of them.
Right. And we've got 4 cushions that look similar. Do you know what? I don't know which are which. Oh, hang on. Left cushion. Right. So that'll be a right cushion. No. Hang on. Right. I'm going to just quickly check the magazine. Right. Gotcha. Right. So these are going to be the left cushions. And the reason being is that, A, that's what the picture looks like in the magazine. That would be quite helpful, wouldn't it? But also what I've looked at from the picture, this part there, you see where there's no pattern, that's going into the middle of the bus. And that makes sense because what you're possibly likely to do is you're going to sit on the edge of this seat and then you're going to, what's the word, scrunch across. So this is probably the bit that will take the most wear. So this will be material and this will be leather. So that's the bit that's going in. So they're going to go that way, not that way.
Yeah.
Did I just over-explain that one?
No,
So these,
I didn't know
these
that.
are where that come from. Yeah, I just had a quick look at the front of the magazine. You can see there that you can see the little leathery bit is in the middle.
Yeah, you've got to think about the thousands of people that are going to be going in and out of that bus, and they're going to be rubbing by the seat end. And the idea is that leather obviously doesn't wear as quickly as the material.
Yeah, not everybody's going to be sitting there.
No,
but everyone will be touching that bit, because to get to that bit, you've got to come across there. But if you decide to sit on the outside, you'll just scrunch to there.
And I suppose just walking
down the aisles.
Yeah, yeah. So
someone's
these are
bashing everyone in the face, and
exactly. Yeah. Oh, that looks like I've got some damage there. What I've just noticed there, you've got a little what looks like a locating peg. On this one, it's bent.
Oh.
And it has bent because it's got a different colour there. So when the time comes, I will gently bend that back. Okay, so what's next?
44E is a left seat backrest, and there's two of those.
Okay, and just to confuse people, these are the left seats and these are the left back seats, backrests. And again, looking at that might actually be wrong. That is, no, they're the wrong way round. So they're obviously going to go in something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, sorry, they're plastic printed.
Okay.
Really nicely.
44F is the right seat cushions, and there's two of those.
Okay, same as 44D, but they're a mirror image, really. I really do like that. They are nice. Okay, and
44 G, we've got right seat backrest, and there's two of those.
Okay, again, mirror image of 44E. So they'll go there. And that should leave us with...
Okay, so you've got 44H, which is the left seat frame.
With a knobbly bit on the top.
With a socket, yeah.
With a socket. Okay, and that should leave us with...
No, that doesn't make sense. It says 44H, left seat frame, and then you see the image. But then it says 44I, right seat frame with socket. You are
correct. Yes, because the picture of 44I is this one. And I will show you, look. You see, there's no, that bit isn't there. See, 44B, right seat frame. Ah, hang on. Yep. H, left. But that is definitely the left seat frame. So I'm going to propose that there's a mistake in the magazine. 44H is the left frame, and that's got a socket on it, and 44I, right seat frame. That is definitely right, but that's the only one left. So just be aware that those are that with socket should really be after 44H. Has anybody done this week's magazine? Have they spotted that?
Okay.
So that should leave us with
36 JP screws.
Okay, and I'm not going to put these in my screw pot because, sorry, in my screw holder, because these are the only screws I've got this week. So there's no opportunity to muddle them up. Yeah, I'm not going to muddle them up with the other screws that I've got. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I would suggest that there are 12 per bag, which suggests that we've got quite a lot of screwing today. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we must be needing 35 of them.
I'd imagine, yeah.
I just chucked those in there. I should have done that. Right. I'm going to have to count them all now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 7, 28, 30, 32, 34. Either I can't count or that last bag had 16 in there. Oh no, 36. Yeah, that's what I count. Yeah, 36. Right. So as we're only using the one screw, I'll get my screw bit sorted out at the beginning of the build. And I think I got it right first time. Oh, hang on. We've got another bit here. Oh no. Oh, that's okay. How did that end up in there? Right. J1. Oh, I got my bits muddled up now, look. J1. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like I'm using a double O. JO. I've got me. Double O. Right, okay. So it looks like, oh, excuse me, sorry. Looks like I'm using the JO bit today for all of it. So that's lined up. So Hazel Johnson said, yes, it's in every single issue. Yeah. I know some people have suggested otherwise, but I do trust that every single person has got the same copy. So if there's a mistake in one, it'll be in all of it. They don't print individual issues for people. So that's why I'll quite often throw it out to the audience. You know, what did you see? You know, is that what you thought? So, right. So, stage 1. Chris, I saw your Lego Saturn. That is amazing. So, but we'll talk about that later. So these instructions look complicated, but I don't think that they actually are. Would you get that impression, Mr. Horlicks?
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think it does look complicated, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
I'm going to have to do a little pause for a moment, but I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Just while Penny's gone there, if you can still hear me, I apologise to anybody who was writing comments to me at the bottom there. I can't see the comments on my device, so I'm relying on Penny and Horlicks to see the comments and read them for me. So just a quick apology from me.
Yeah, that's no worries. You did have a problem setting up, didn't you? So I've just spotted a comment that just caught my eye. Andy M says no Ledmans. Right, okay. So would you like to take us through the stage 1 then, Horlicks?
Yeah, so we need to take the left seat frame, 44A, and one of the left seat backrests, 44E, and then fit the backrest onto the frame and fix in place with JP screws. That's the first section of step 1.
Okie dokie. Right, do you want me to build from there, or do you want to go through the full set of instructions? Or should
we might as well do that in bits. Yeah, so do that bit first, and then...
Right, so the first thing I've noticed is, obviously, as you describe it, I don't know if you hear me clicking, but I do a little dry fit, and it's not quite as easy as I thought it would be. Now, what I've done is I've laid my bits out as they've been described to us. So you've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. So I know that this is the correct seat, but they've also said left seat frame. And obviously this is my left seat. And then they've said we need to take the backrest 44E, which obviously I know that's the correct one, because if you look at the shape compared to the seat, if we got the wrong seat back, you see it's not going to fit.
Yeah.
So now we've got 2 screw holes and we've got a locating peg, and we've got to line all 3 up together, and that is actually going to be the difficult bit. So I think, oh, there you go. I just happened to have got it straight in there. But I think it's a case of having a look as you go in. And then once it's in, that's not going anywhere. Okay, and that looks really nice. So usual procedure with the screws. Pop the first screw in just enough so that it bites. And then we'll pop the second one in. And that second one can go all the way because that will be the last one. And then we'd go back to the first one and tighten that one up. Do not over tighten because these are plastic parts. This screwdriver is stronger than the plastic, so if you screw too hard, the screw will continue to go through, and all you will get is a nasty big crack. Right, I hope there's going to be some backs go on these seats. I suspect there will be. Because you normally get that horrible old, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the old-fashioned 60s worktops. They got, you know, you used to get them in canteens. They're kind of Formica, yeah. But you get, it's cream and you've got all these black lines all over the place. Do you know what I mean?
Most of them were covered with Rexine.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
No, it's
We've definitely got
a bit like leatherette.
Ah, okay. So you think there'll be something going on there covering those screws up?
Maybe.
Because that doesn't look very good otherwise, does it?
Well, up to now there isn't, is there? So
yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what's coming in. So that's that part done. So now we flick that Horlicks.
Yeah. So the second step of the second stage of step 1 is to take one of the left seat cushions, 44D, and fit into part 44A, and again fix in place with the 2 screws.
Okay. So I am going to state the obvious here. So I do apologise. Obviously, we fixed this in. We've established that this is the correct one. When you put this seat in, make sure the burgundy bits, brown bits, whatever colour you want to call it, they match. So, for example, if I picked up the wrong bit, I don't even know if this will fit. But you can see that that is not a match. That looks stupid, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So just use your eyes. In fact, this is the broken one, or the bent one. So I think what I'll do is I'll line up the locating tab into the hole. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get this so that I can see it. It's kind of blind fishing here, for want of a better expression. However, saying that, I think if I was to accidentally snap it off, I could still get this to line up properly. Oh, there we go. I've got it. There we go. So a gentle bit of persuasion. Yeah, there you go. I've bent it back into place. It's actually good that I'm using this one first. Right, I am confident that that's lined up. There's only one way to find out, and that's when I put the first screw in. If the first screw doesn't want to go in, I know I've not got it lined up. So I'm actually quite happy I've got a mistake there. Yeah, see, I got that wrong.
Oh, Johnson's asked if I'm going to do the anniversary collection of the RAF. No, do you know what? There's so many part works I want to do. I just can't. It's just money. I can't really afford to do any at the moment until the Routemasters finished.
I thought I said last week, I'm not sure if I did, but I'm only going to collect the first 3. I actually have the second one. I bought it today. There you go. Right, that was bent. So I've put that locating peg in, and then I've just gently pushed it back, and that's bent that straight. But yeah, the second one, it's the Halifax, isn't it? Which is the inspiration for the Routemasters, if I remember correctly. Can you remember that, Dave?
Yeah, by Pack Royal, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought I'll get the second issue so that I've got the Halifax, so I can put that on the bus shelf. Right, I've run into a little problem here. This screw isn't going to stop screwing.
Oh,
I've
dear.
had that before, but this one will. So it may well be that this was a little bit weak and I've just overscrewed it. But that's not really moving. And in any case, this is going to be sat at the front of the bus or some within the first 2 rows. So I don't think that's going to matter. But other than that, I'm really happy with that. And I that just reminds me of being a kid now. So, oh, these seats are actually stickers. Don't know if you can see that. We've just gone round the corner there.
Oh, are they stickers?
Yeah, someone's actually taken the time and trouble to stick these on.
Oh.
Probably some Chinese boy slave. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So, yeah, so I'm going to get the... Spitfire. They do a Spitfire part work. Do you know what, Sol? I was thinking that today. I'll let Horlicks describe the next part of the build, which is going to be quite simple. But
yeah,
we've got bubblegum on the Lego bus, and I was actually thinking, because I've got some filament for my 3D printer that's called bubblegum, and it's really, really good. I'll show it to you later on. And I just thought, well, if I printed surely I could print bubblegum if I print it on like a 0.06 layer height. So I don't know.
Oh,
anyway,
it's sorry, it's Cheryl's Chris Camplin's girlfriend Cheryl's birthday today.
Oh,
so
is Cheryl
happy
watching,
birthday.
Chris?
Happy birthday.
If she's got to collect the cake pics too. Tell us when Cheryl's watching, and then we all 3 of us will sing happy birthday to her.
And then everyone in the stream will disappear. Oh dear. No, okay, so next step, you need to take one of the seat supports, 44C, and fix to the underside of the seat frame, 44A, with 2 JP screws.
Okay. So I'm having a look at this. And now looking at the magazine, it looks like the longer one goes at the front. Now, the problem I've got... Oh, no. That doesn't fit. Oh, that's handy. Right. So if you put it in wide, this is why I love this part work. You've got a locating peg and 2 screw holes. If you put it in this way, can you see that it's not fitting? But if you turn it that way, it's now perfect. That locating peg is just slightly off center, so you can't put the supports in wrong. So that makes me happy. Yeah.
Well, apparently Cheryl's watching now, so we're allowed to
Okay,
sing.
are you ready then? On the count of 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cheryl. Happy birthday to you. Hey.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Oh dear.
I'm just going to check the Oh, we've got 51. We haven't put many people off yet.
Oh, that's all right then.
You might be, it's up to you guys, but you might be, there's ever so slight bit of problem here. I know someone is going to say shunt the screwdriver forward, but that's not going to work because it's this bit that's slightly in the way. If you shunt it forward, you've still got the black bit in the way. but now you've got less control because of this. I'm going to manage because I really cannot be bothered to fudge around. In fact, hold it this way, guys, because if you hold it that way, it's not. You're resting on that back. I can see someone snapping the back of that seat off if you're not careful.
I've just thought, like what you were saying about that. My other screwdriver, my other Oreo Zanmax one, that would be perfect for that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of my Harley screwdriver. Personally,
Okay,
to be
so
honest with you, there's only two screwdrivers I use now. That's the Oreo and the Harley. So they do the job. As you see, this is really well used because it's got the top on it. Right, sorry, yeah.
okay, so step 2, we're going to be building another seat. That's surprising.
It's surprised by that.
Yeah.
Right, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Steps 1 to 4 looks like they're all exactly the same, except for using different bits. So shall we go through stage 2 and then build it and then go straight into 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Because they're all, you're going to still see me build it, but obviously you know what's coming now because it's going to be a seat, a back, a seat, and then the support.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. But we'll go through 2 because that's one of the ones with a, hang on, let me get the word right.
Cheryl says thank you, everyone. And she enjoys our live builds as much as Chris does.
Oh, bless you.
Very good.
Right. So, yeah, this is one of the ones with a socket on the top.
Yes. So we want to. So yeah, it says in the same way as step 1, fit the second left seat backrest 44E to the left seat frame 44H and fix in place with 2 JP screws. Yeah, obviously you want the one with the socket on the top, or the bobbly bit.
Right. Okay. So that's pretty much confirmed what we already knew before, which is this is the one with socket, and the one that they've said has got the socket isn't the socket, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to be using the same parts again. Yeah, 44E, which is the same as this part. And then we'll be using 44D, which is the same as this part. And that will be the 2 left seats done. So we gently line that up with the locating peg and then the 2 screw holes. There we go. You know when it's in because it's not going to move. Try not to touch that. As you can see on mine, that's really, really wobbly. Wibbly wobbly. So I have extra special reason to be excited by these seats today. Have you, Penny? What is that, Penny?
Well, no, normally I was waiting for you normally answer the question straight away.
What I'm trying to do is fill time while I'm building, so it's not so dull and monotonous for everybody. So if I answer my own questions, it will fill up less time, won't it?
Okay, so
I have an extra special reason to look forward to these seats today.
Oh, really, Penny? Why is that?
Well,
Really?
if you remember a few weeks ago, quite many weeks ago, we made... Do you know what? I might have to retract that question because he's done a runner. I had a figure that I made, which we called Mr. Concept.
Yes.
And I couldn't take him any further simply because I didn't know if I had the scale exactly right. And I said that I won't be able to test them out until we actually get the seats. We tried to put them into the driver's cab, but he didn't really fit properly because of the steering wheel in the way. And he's sitting there with his legs crossed trying to read a non-existent newspaper.
Yeah.
So once the seats come, we could actually test him properly and see if he's all right.
Chris Campion just said he used to have a figure too.
Didn't we all?
Chris
Yeah.
Campling, you lower the tone of this stream, which is probably why I like you. Right. So again, this one, if you put the locating peg in that way round, it's not going to fit. Careful of these; they are very loose. They are plastic. I've got a feeling they don't need to be metal. Once they're screwed in, I think that they'll be fine. But we've just got to be careful while we're assembling. I can imagine, because I can't see it because I'm not in the group, but I can imagine posts in the group. I'm going to use my Harley screwdriver. I hate to not use I hate to not use my Aurea because we've been singing the praises of the Aurea, but obviously you see that that's going to go in better because we haven't got a sticky out bit. So
Peter said, so I missed one from Peter from Fleet said he doesn't know how old he is. He was a test tube baby, and it took me so long to get the cork out.
Very good. Which obviously is a reference to my star sign is Pyrex.
Fight Suit says it all gone south.
Right. So I'm going to put these on the right side of the table because they're going to be, because I'm going to put them down. We're going to be looking at them. So I'm going to put them on the right side of the table. Sorry, I meant to show you. This is it. And oops, all of these screws have gone in absolutely fine, and that's solid. That's not moving. I'm really happy with that. So okay, and just can you recap the parts that we're going to use for stage 3, and then I'll get straight into doing that.
Yeah, so we need the right seat frame, 44i, and one of the back seat one of the seat backrests, 44G.
We didn't actually need to do that, really, did we? Because we know that these are the backs and we know that these are the seats.
Yeah.
And these are both identical, and these are both identical. Stage 3 is the one without the socket. So it's as simple as that. So locating peg. Around here somewhere. Now, what's quite interesting is that when we did the wheels, I'm not knocking the wheels. The wheels are what they are. But you do realise that we've done more work in each stage than we did in the entire magazine for the wheels. Does that sound like a moan? I don't want to moan because shame Chris can't spell.
No, definitely not a moan.
Do you know what? You talk about people who can't spell. My friend Lex, and he tried to improve himself by going to poetry classes, and he did really, really well. And he came home with 3 vases, an ashtray, and a plate.
Where do all these jokes come from?
Oh, I'm just brilliant. I'm just brilliant with them, you see. Right, Daniel, your question. I'm going to hand you over to the wonderful, knowledgeable Dave Say, because I cannot remember off the top of my head. Top of my head.
Oh yeah.
How many seats do we have on the top and lower deck?
In the 56 all in.
I assume we're on the. Oh, is there two? Is there?
There'll be 28 downstairs, and the rest will be upstairs, won't they? Some had 26. Some had 26 downstairs. Some had 28 downstairs.
See, now I'm actually disappointed with this build being the equalities rep, trade union rep at work, I'm very disappointed to see no wheelchair spaces.
Yeah, well,
But they could
in
just sit
them,
on the back platform, couldn't they?
Yeah, just attach a bit of rope.
But then when the bus pulls off, it wheels off the back.
Okay. Oh, I haven't done the seat support. So locate and peg. That's not going in properly. So we turn that round, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. So, and then your support falls off. So I must master the art of placing the screw on the screwdriver ready.
I must say, Penny, that's quite an awkward task when you've got, a bit of arthritis in your hands.
I bet it is actually. Do you know what? Right, I'm going to tell you a story if you promise not to laugh at me.
Okay.
I've just got to wait for you to promise not to laugh, and everyone in the audience.
We won't laugh at you.
Yesterday, don't ask me how this happened. I went outside my door to make a cup of coffee. And very stupidly, I had my hand resting on the door frame, and the door closed on my hands.
Oh.
And it trapped these 3 fingers
Oh.
right across there. Now, there's not bruised or anything like that. It's sore and tender.
Yeah.
But it's surprising how many times I've gone, oh, you don't think you're using your fingers that much.
Yeah, you do.
Now, luckily, it was my left hand, but if it was my right hand, I would probably be in a lot of pain now because you see it moving with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a totally stupid thing to do, Oh, I know. What I'll do is I'll open the door, which is on a spring, and I'll place my hand in the door frame and then let go of the door.
Well,
I mean, that's a really sensible thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but you wouldn't have thought like that in the first place, though, would you?
No, I wouldn't have thought let's do it. Although saying that, as soon as I did it, my first thing that went through my head was, oh, day off work tomorrow. Guys, I have signed up for a bank holiday. I'm going to be working Boxing Day, and it was funny because I wasn't selected for bank. I always tried to get bank holidays because if I don't work a bank holiday, I get paid for it. If I work a bank holiday, I get paid for the day's work, sometimes at enhanced rate, and they give me a lieu day. So it's in effect, it's an extra 9 days holiday a year.
Wow.
So I personally think it's worth working. Not everyone will agree with me. So I wasn't selected to work bank holiday, but they put a list of all. Basically, they're going to be running a Sunday duty, and I put myself down to be like if anybody said that they didn't want to work bank holiday, what they'll do is they'll give them the day off, and they'll pick one of the reserves, and then they can work instead.
Yeah.
So I put my name down. I was the 3rd one in, and it turns out I've got a shift. But I said, I bet you any money, I will get selected to work, and I will get the duty that finishes the latest.
Yeah.
Which won't be a major problem because the last duty books off at 7:29, and guess what duty I've got?
The late one.
I have got that one, yeah. Right. Yeah. Everything's gone absolutely swimmingly, except for this one. And what actually happened was I could feel the screw getting tight, but it wasn't coming to a stop. And then I just turned it a little tiny bit more, and then suddenly it got looser. So I've actually over tightened it for that, maybe the hole is slightly bigger. So the lesson I've just learned there is even if it's not really, really tight, once it goes stiff, stop, check it. It's actually in there quite tight. That's not going to move around. If this was body work, I'd be worried, but obviously it's a seat that's going to sit inside.
Yeah.
So I'm really not concerned about it. But
yeah,
obviously you want your screws in nice and tight. because everyone likes their screws in tight, don't they?
Absolutely.
And obviously, if you can get them in nice, there's less opportunity in the future for them to come loose. So, as I say, I've not ruined the build, but it could be just a little bit better. Remember, I make the mistakes, so you don't have to. And sorry to make you sit and watch the same thing 4 times.
Well, no, it's part of the build, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the build.
So 2, 4, 6, 12, 24 screws we've used. So they actually only needed to send us... Oh, no, we haven't finished yet, have we? Oops, my bad. So that is 4 lovely seats. The right ones are on the left side and the left ones are on the right side. And I've done it that way because that's how they will look. If you look from the front of the bus, that's how they're going to look. Now, who was it who said that they are the poles that go up are alternating? You can now actually see that start to come in.
Yeah.
Can you see that this one's got a pole and this one's got a pole?
The handrails.
The handrail. That's it. The handrails.
Yeah.
So they're going to go down the line like that. So I'm going to put those because I think we're going to need to be working in the middle. So while I get the floor of the bus, would you like to take us through stage 5, Horlicks?
Yeah. Okay. So we need to fit the support of the left seat frame 44A into the first 2 holes on the lower deck floor 42A. Screwing through from underneath, fix the support 44C into place with 2 JP screws.
Okie dokie. So this is our floor. I'm not 100% happy with this because of the box on the bottom, which means I can't lay it flat. But there's our little box with the wire coming out the top. And so...
Oh, that's right, because the wire goes through the groove, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. The little groove at the back of the box there.
Yeah.
Not through this one there. Right. Okie dokie. So, so what we're basically going to do here is we're going to put... I nearly missed that. The 2 holes. The holes actually start right next to the red bit. So that's going to go in like that. Now, I did notice right at the end of the build, this bit here, we'll show you the finished view later, but it says, if you are not fixing the seats at this stage, label them carefully according to the seat frame numbers, 44A, 44H, 44I, 44B. So the way I'm interpreting that is that it doesn't matter if you don't fit these yet, but don't get them in a muddle. So it's not like...
because that could be quite... I was going to say, because those posts are only plastic, aren't they? Is that going to be safe to take the weight?
Right. Let me show you how I store my bus. And this is why I'm going to go ahead with it. Right. My bus is stored on that shelf there. Right, and even if I knock this, it's sturdy enough. You can see the little buses are rocking, but they're light. So, and I actually store this on top of the bus like that.
Yeah.
So that's not going to get accidentally knocked. If you've got children, that you know the kind of children that they don't have eyes there, they have them there.
Yeah.
If you've got anything like that, then I would say save the buses, save the seats for another time. And if you've got some masking tape, just write the number or micropore or something that's gentle, and just pop it on the back of the seat, and store these in a box or something. But I'm prepared to go for it, and the reason I'm prepared to go for it, and I'm going to try and change the camera angle as I talk. These parts were very flimsy. Now that I've put 2 screws in, that's actually quite solid. So I would be happy to put my seats in, because, like I say, I'm going to store this. But if there's any risk that you're going to damage it, I would say don't put the seats in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and they do also say, I don't know if you said this, Horlicks, maybe I switched off. The words left and right are used to describe items on the left and right when facing the front of the bus from inside. So this is on my left. This is now on my right. So I kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fit these now. They're fitting both of the lefts and then both of the rights. I don't know if that would be the easiest way to do it, but I can't see a problem with doing it either way. So load up screwdriver. And I think it's going to be the first support that's going to be the difficult one to get in, because you need to hold it with one hand and then come in from underneath. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to show you what I've done, because it's going to be quite difficult. So there is the seat, and as per usual, I've put that in just enough to bite with one screw. I don't need to worry quite so much about it, but it is rocking, so give it a little bit of support, but it's not going to be as bad. So actually, I wonder if, I don't know, how would you guys do it? Would you do both of the left seats as per the magazine, or would you do the front seats and then do the ones that go behind? Would you go for this one next, or would you go for this one?
I don't think it really matters. I'd probably do both on one side, as you've got it that way around.
Let's use this one. So
yeah, I think I'd probably do the near side and then the off side.
Right. So that is actually rather solid. You can see there is a wobble to it, but I don't think you're not going to catch that and break that accidentally. You see, I'm giving it a bit of light pressure. I'm not advising you to do this at home. It'll take a very gentle knock. If the cat climbed up there and decided to sleep on the bus, I don't rate its chances. That's a good point. Right, screw holes on the sides. Right, let's have a little look. No, there isn't, but there's little lugs there. So I'm wondering if there's definitely not an awful lot of room by the side there. And actually, that doesn't look like it's lined up properly.
So could there be a rail that they fit in, a rail or something?
Ah, that's interesting. But if there's got a lug on it, we may have to manipulate that a little bit.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not going to
if you look at the
manipulate
top of the seat, there's 2 screw holes at the top on the side. So I think you'd be able to secure that in.
Yeah.
Later on, so I think that'll straighten up a bit.
So again, to make sure you've got them in the right place, you've got the plain bit is running down the middle of the bus. So if I was to put, and also now that we've set these up correctly, you can see there that it's either got to face backwards or it's actually going to take over the middle of the bus. So you can see that that's in the wrong place. There's no way that that's correct. So it can only go there like so. So again, I'll have to, I don't want to rest this upside down. but if you sort of hold at a 45-ish degree angle, and then we'll just pop the first screw in just enough to grab, and then we'll load the second screw up. How are we doing for time? There wasn't much leg room actually, but you do get leg room underneath the seat in front of you. So I'm proposing that because we've only got 7 minutes left, we may not get time to play with Mr. Concept. And I'm not screwing these too tight because I've had a couple where they won't fully tighten. So once it gives resistance, I'm stopping.
Could we play with Mr. Concept as it was before Horlicks goes?
Yeah, okay, let's see if we can play with him now then. So that's the left side seats in, and there is leg room underneath the front of the seat, unless the lady in front pulls her legs back,
Yeah.
in which case you end up playing footsie with her. Right, okay, where are you, Mr. Concept? I'm sorry, guys. Things have been. Oh, well. Do you want to tell them what happened last night, or should I?
When?
Let's just say drama queen.
Yeah, no, you can.
I was streaming on Twitch last night, and the
Actually, it's
computer.
Monday night.
Was it Monday? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Monday. So yeah, Monday I was streaming, and here he is. And I just had to end the stream because no, there's not 7 minutes left. There's 7 minutes, Chris, until Horlicks has to go. So yeah, I just had to stop the stream because there was something going on with my computer. It was awful. So Horlicks very kindly helped me get a program called UVG something or another, cleanup, PC tune up.
Yeah.
And we got this code, and this code wasn't working, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh, I've been conned. They've taken my money and the code doesn't work. And yeah, well, it's funny now. So here's Mr. Concept with his legs crossed reading the paper. And what do you think, guys? Just slightly too big?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's very big, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's way too
Tiny bit smaller.
I would say he's probably about 30% too big. I don't know. I don't know if he's in proportion.
I suppose it's going to be hard. I mean, I suppose you'd have to wait really until we get some of the windows in, perhaps. And then you can see if their head sticks up through the floor.
Well, I think his head should be about there, judging by the height of the seat.
Yeah.
He looks as though he's like a 1/10 figure or something like that instead of a 1/12.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking all aboard the bus to Gulliver's Travels here.
Yeah.
So he'd have to sit at the front now because of his leg. But having said that, though, if these were, would you dodge the fares from this woman? Tickets, please. Okay. Don't argue with me. Okay. So it looks like Mr. Concept's a little bit too big, but you know, it was. He's done exactly what we designed him to do, which is be a concept. So I'm happy with that, and I just accidentally dribbled on the bus. So I'll try and finish off these seats. I've got to work upside down now. So that's the wrong one. This one at the front.
Yeah, the one at the front has a socket on it.
No, it doesn't. I don't know. No.
Yeah, the left-hand side doesn't have a socket.
Look, both of the front ones don't have a socket, and the next two do. Let me have a look at the finished view. Yeah, look, on the finished view, both of the. Oh, no. My bad. That's my bad. Look, we actually have a gap.
You missed one, yeah.
We missed one out. But on the left, we do go front and then the second one.
Yeah.
But the right-hand side, yeah, so it's, yeah. So this one isn't going there.
No.
It's actually going there. So we will get our staggered gap. And then this one is still going to go there.
Yeah.
So it's going to look slightly odd because there'll be one missing. Oh, yeah, Ron, yeah, definitely will. Fighter Sweep says he's 6'4", and that's what he looks like sitting on a bus. I can quite imagine. With these seats, it's just getting this first one in that's really difficult because you're holding on one side and screwing in from the other, and I'm balancing a big piece of plastic and then trying to get a screw onto the end of the screwdriver. You really do genuinely need four hands. Oh. See, I'm trying to save time by doing it one-handed. Yeah, I don't know if you were around when we played with the files the first time, but I mean, they were much smaller to start with, weren't they? We made them bigger, and we just worked out the size, and we took a guess. And these particular ones, the woman, she is 5.5 inches tall, which we thought 1 to 12 scale is 1 inch to 1 foot. So 5.5 inches, that would make her. This is another screw that doesn't want to go in really tight. So I'm not going to just keep screwing it. So that's the third seat in, guys.
Yeah, I remember those models well because I nearly decapitated one of them.
So you did what?
I nearly decapitated one of them.
Did you?
Remember when you were playing with your Octoprint and then I had access and I was homing your bed and then it looked very close to the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a butt clencher for me because I was like playing around and then it started homing, but I thought it was like my printer where it homes upwards, but on yours it homes down. And I just saw this crossbar coming down towards the head and I'm thinking, no, it's going to take the head off. Stop.
Don't forget also, the reason it was moving was because I was actually moving it. So we were both logged in at the same time, weren't we?
Yeah, so he said.
There's something about it wasn't going where you told it to go.
Yeah.
And I reminded me, I'm like, oh, hang on, because the other day or earlier on, I was using it and that was making some funny movements for me as well. And then it just kind of clicked that you were controlling it and so was I. So for the benefit of those that actually have no idea what I'm talking about, I can actually access my 3D printer online so I can see what's happening. That's another screw that doesn't want to go in. So I don't know if it's... Does anybody else have any trouble with any of these screws? I had trouble with the radiator.
I had all that with the detail on the bonnet or the front wing. That's exactly what was happening to me, except the screws weren't even screwing. They were just falling through the holes.
Yeah, so it's not a problem because I've got one screw in tight on each bit. So, right, so that's the 4 seats in, and I'm just wondering if it might be easier if I show you this way. What do you think, guys? I'm happy with that.
Right. Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to just pop it on the bus. I don't want to take the bus off the shelf, especially as that floor isn't assembled, but you see the seats there. So for me, that's a safe place to put it. So you be the judge. Yeah, you be the judge as to whether or not that's safe for you to put the seats on. Okay, brilliant. So there is a post on. I mean, I'm not on the Facebook group because somebody added me when I wasn't ready. Right, so this is next week's build. Sorry to rush through the build. I'm just keeping an eye on the time. And
Yeah, I
it's
was right. We had speculations last week, and I said that
oh
I reckon we'd
yes,
get more seats.
yeah. Well, I was kind of agreeing, but I thought it would be more sensible to get 3 seats. I'll explain that in a minute. I'll just read the description. So it says another set of seats for the lower deck is supplied with this issue, together with instructions for assembly. Because obviously, instructions for assembly, having done them this week, is vitally important.
Yeah.
The reason I'm concerned is that we counted last week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I must have counted it wrong then. Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we knew we'd be getting 4 seats this week, didn't we?
Hmm.
From the picture,
Yeah.
from, yeah. So that leaves us with 6 seats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we've got 4 seats next week, that then leaves us with 2 seats. Now, I think that if you're doing 4 seats one week, then 4 seats the next week, followed by 2 seats, I think that that's going to feel a bit disappointing
Yeah,
because
I
of
would
what
agree
you're
with that.
used to doing.
Because if that is the case, they should have done 5 and 5.
Yeah. Or 4, 4, and 3. I can, sorry, 4, 3, and 3. I can live with 3 next week. But I think if I'm doing 4 this week, 4 the week after, unless they're going to give us 2 seats and something else. So it could well be that we're going to be doing the 2 seats and then put something to go over the wheel arches,
Yeah.
ready for the bench
Yeah.
seats. We
Yeah.
can't fit the bench seats because there's nothing
Yeah.
to fit them to.
Maybe the rear wheel arches. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe you'll be doing the grab rails,
Yeah.
maybe pushing them onto the sockets, perhaps.
Could be. I just hope that when we come down to those 2 last forward facing seats, that there's something that goes with it. Because I just fear the backlash. You know me, I'm looking at this as a 130 part issue part work. And I don't care if we get one piece and one screw for 129 issues and then every other part for issue 130. It will be the same amount of work over 130 weeks.
Yeah.
I just fear that people are going to go, oh, is that it? We've done 4 seats and 4 seats, and now we've only got the 2. Chris, don't think I've ignored your comment. I haven't. So what did you think of the build this week? I'm going to ask Dave first this time because poor old Dave, he sits there patiently every week waiting for me to build a bus.
Well,
And I feel...
I think this week, brilliant, really. There's been a lot of anguish from various quarters on these seats. Some of them are thinking that they're plastic and should have got material and everything else. And I look at it this way. I look at it like this. Them seats that we've got look like the real deal, or they will look like the real deal when the rest of the bus is together. You won't physically be able to go touch them from the outside, and you won't be able to get near them from the outside because there'll be glass down each side and they'll be all encased in the bus. So to me, they look okay. They're the right pattern.
Also, aren't they actually made of that like leather look plastic?
Well, the leather is the red leather on the outside, and the rest is what they call maquette, seat maquette, and seat maquette is a sewn material, that is specially designed for bus seats. Is maquette. And it's,
so would you say that this maquette, does it look more like cloth or does it look more plasticky in real life?
No, in real life it looks more like cloth, especially when you're close to it. When you're far away from it, I suppose it would look a bit plasticky, depending on what angle you was looking at it for and how far away you was. But I would have said
Okay.
that 90% of the time they do look like cloth.
Right. So what if, for example, if I just painted a little bit of matte varnish over the top, just to give it more of a dull look? Do you think that might
Um,
help?
that might help in giving it a more of a used look, yes.
Right.
There was a big thing at one time in the vintage vehicle world about clean seats. You could tell if a seat was clean or not by the way the piping was on the seat. You'll tell
Yes.
that them seats have got that like a yellow piping in the seat. And if that yellow piping isn't really marketable, if you can't see it, then you could easily tell that there was mucky seats and they needed
Yeah.
cleaning. So I suppose you could put some sort of light wash across it, but for me personally, I think I'm going to leave them as they are.
Right. I mean, I probably will myself because, like you say, it's sorry. I've just spotted a comment from Daniel Simpson. He loves how Dave's cab is just hanging there in the background. So yeah, we're all watching that now. That's
what,
actually a
what
really
about
good
this one?
idea, Dave. Yeah, is that your little drying rack?
Yeah, that's just my drying rack where that's my build on there, and this one's Christine's, my wife's. I keep doing little updates for the Facebook groups, and
Yeah,
I keep wanting to keep you all updated on here. But I think most people are on here on the Facebook groups anyway, so
but
you
we
get to
still like
see.
to look anyway.
You
We
still
like
like
to
to
sit.
look.
Yeah,
I'm busy with the cab on my wife's build. I'm waiting for parts. Once the parts come, then we'll be flying. I've got on with the front end, and the front end is going to be cream around the bottom end of this, and right round the wing. And it's got one cut on there presently at the
I
bottom.
tell you
So
what, when you showed me the picture all those weeks ago, and the first thing I said, "Oh, is it black?" and you went, "No, it's not." And now that you've painted it, I can just see it's a very dark color, but I can just see the
dark
color
green, yeah.
coming through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dark green. Whereas mine's dark blue. And if I get your man off, see, I've done the primrose stripe on there. Don't know whether you
yeah, that's
see that or not,
beautiful.
but mine's
Listen, Dave, I'm just going to flick over to Horlicks because Horlicks's time is limited. But
okay.
I'll come back to that.
Yeah,
So Horlicks, your verdict of this week's build?
Yeah, I mean, I love builds like that. It has quite a big impact on it because you've got
Yeah,
just a boring floor, and then you suddenly put in seats on, or things on there, and I think it just makes it pop a bit.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really satisfying issue. That's how I'd describe it.
I must admit, actually, when I saw the floor, it's quite boring and all one color, and I don't really notice the floor so much. Now, obviously, I'm focusing on the build,
Hmm.
but the floor really isn't. It's become a little bit more background, which I think is the way it should be.
So I think like next week when we add the rest of the seat, or more of the seats, should I
oh,
say, um, that it's going to really make it stand out, isn't it? And
Yeah,
yeah, it's just going to be even better.
yeah. It's really coming along now. I've
Um,
said for quite a few weeks now that. Sorry, did you just catch me rolling a cigarette then?
so I mean, obviously, I'm thinking it's the same. Like, obviously, I'm behind, but um, I've just done the chassis on mine. Like, I think what I showed you last week, anyway. But the starting to put like the gearbox in or whatever that is, and yeah, just even doing that for me has just made a massive difference. But I can't
So
wait to get the cab on.
I'm just going to hit the pause a sec because I need a really big cough. I do apologise. So Horlicks, obviously you've been involved with my build since about issue 20. You've done over half of it with me now. Obviously you've done your own build. obviously you. What's the word? Someone did correct me. I think I used the word behind, and someone said no, it's not behind. But you know what I mean by that. I don't mean that you're less advanced or anything. I mean that you've started your build later.
Yeah.
But now that you've caught up, and you obviously the first 20 issues, you're doing issues that you know how to do them because you've seen the builds on YouTube.
Yeah.
But from issue 20 onwards, you're now doing your own bus with issues that you've been involved with.
Yeah.
Has it made any difference for you actually being involved? Has it made it better or worse or all the same?
Do you know what? I'm gonna. I'm gonna have to admit, because we do these issues every week, I've forgotten what we had back now. So when I get my parts, it's still a surprise because I'm like, well, obviously initially I'm like, what do we get? And then I might think, oh yeah, I remember, but then I can't actually remember how to do it or anything. So I still have to obviously go through the magazine, check it all.
Yeah.
So it hasn't ruined that aspect of it.
I can relate to that actually, because sometimes people will send me messages and they'll say, Penny, can you help me with issue 32 or whatever, or 40? And I'll go, can you refresh my memory? What are you actually doing? Because they're just numbers to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're just numbers. I can remember that the engine is 29 because that's just become a really memorable part. That's the pipes. But other than that, when people say, can you help with issue X? I'm like, refresh my memory. As soon as they mention the part, I've got to know each individual part. And this is going to sound really sad and geeky, but I've got attached to each part this pipe and that screw and that tire. And I feel a certain amount of affection for it. Does that sound really bad?
No, not at all.
Chris has said the same with me in the R2. So I don't know if you can relate to that, Horlicks. If I talk to you about the DeLorean and I say, oh, I'm having trouble with the passenger seat, you've got a bit of a feeling towards it because you remember, you might have drawn blood, you might have sweated over it, you might have sworn at it.
Like the wires.
Yeah.
That was hard.
I'm definitely not going to do that DeLorean now that the wires look. When you see people like World of Wayne struggling, it's not going to be easy.
No, it has got to that stage. I am enjoying the DeLorean, but at the same time, I'm absolutely dreading when the next issues come because I know it's going to be something really hard. Like I did obviously the flux band on the front of this recently. Well, the video's not up yet, but it is scheduled. That was really hard. I found it really fiddly.
But is it satisfying when you do it?
Yeah. Well, it's a big relief. It's like, oh, thank God that bit's done. And then you think, oh no, I've got this to do. And it's got a bit like that now. But with R2-D2, it hasn't at all. It's been an absolute pleasure from start to finish. Everything has been a pleasure with it. Even the task of plugging all the wires in. Again, you haven't seen that yet. But that was tough.
Well, you've just done really...
No one's going to see that. I cut it.
You've just done a really good tie-in there, Horlicks. Chris has been mentioning a couple of times about my R2 Dome, so I'm going to have to pull it out at some time. Now, obviously, I've been releasing the videos for it every Monday. I'm trying to get as far ahead on making the videos as I possibly can. So what you see there tends to be an exclusive. You've not seen this being made. The reason I'm trying to get ahead is there's some parts that I'm struggling with, and I may need 2 or 3 weeks to do them. So at the moment, last night I made episode 9. So if I now struggle, I've got 6 weeks before I run out of video. So like I say, what you see there is technically an exclusive. And I was so happy with this last night. The silver, and I think you've seen these domes put together. Episode 3, I've just put half together, I think. So I then put the other halves together, and then I attached the two halves together. So we've
Wow.
ended up with that. And I don't think I've released the episode with a 3D pen yet. And I've got this 3D pen. If you are into 3D printing, this is absolutely amazing. This cost me £20. And
Yeah, I want to get one of those. I don't even need one, but I just want to play with it.
Oh, it's brilliant. Well, I actually had a play. I'm really not an artist. Horlicks, you're gonna laugh because this broke just moments before the stream. I can see Horlicks, you're laughing now. But it comes with a pattern to make a bicycle, and like I say, it broke. But this is the bicycle I made
Wow.
with the 3D pen.
It's really good.
Wow.
Right, it's really scruffy, but I like it. It's my first attempt, but my 3D pen, I use it as a welder. So when you have, see if I can find a couple of.
Well, okay. So while you were explaining that, I need to actually go. So it's 10 minutes early. But
yeah, no problems.
yeah. Thanks everyone, and thanks for watching.
Just before you go, Horlicks, next week we don't have a Routemasters. So what we're going to do, we'll do a question and answer session. And also, if you remember a few weeks back, I got a Routemasters manual. So we'll have a little look through that. But it's not going to be a build next week because there isn't going to be an issue. So as I say, obviously I expect the numbers will probably be a little bit lower. But we'll try and have a little bit of fun. We'll have a chat, and we'll basically we're not gonna restrict it to Routemasters. We're gonna try and make it more Routemasters, but we'll allow part work so we can talk about anything you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, should still be fun.
Yeah, this should be good.
Yeah. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us, Horlicks. Your time and effort is always appreciated.
No, it's all right. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I'll see you. Say bye to everyone. And nice to see you, Dave. Hope you'll get making use of the mug. Have you got it with you?
Yes, certainly have. I haven't got it tonight, but I have got it in the washing actually.
Mind you, I haven't used mine. Mine's on the shelf. I don't want to use it.
I've used mine a couple of times. Thank you very much. And I tell you what, they're brilliant mugs. They are brilliant, aren't they? Yeah, I'm really pleased.
I use mine exclusively. So
yeah, we don't want to see inside of that though, Penny.
No, we don't want to see inside.
Otherwise, I'll tear you off. Right. See you later, everyone. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Take care now.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So yeah, with the 3D pen, what I've done. Let's say I really need to get two straight bits, but obviously these aren't going to go together. But let's say I wanted to glue these together.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll glue them, and where I can, I'll clamp them. I'm starting to notice that sometimes the slow drying glues are better, and sometimes you want something a bit faster. But you'll get the occasional gap. And then what I found is really handy is if you get your 3D pen, and then you can just fill that gap with the 3D pen. It'll create a little bit of a line, but then you sand over the top. And that is demonstrated really well with the dome. I can't get it under my small camera. So, well, first of all, we've got this panel here that was actually a failed print. And it only printed up to there. So what I did is I reprinted the dome, but I only printed from about there up. And then I cut the two to shape. And then you can see where I've welded the two together.
Yeah.
And that saves me doing a 10-hour, instead of doing a 10-hour reprint, I've only done like about 3 hours. But what I've done is, I don't know if you can see there's bolts inside.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I put some slow drying glue in there and then bolted them together. And then what I've done is, here we go. This is a better example. So along the seams on the outside, I then just put a 3D pen.
Yeah.
So, and to show you how good it is, I did the pies last night. Now, these, they have a hole in them, and then you pop a little bit of filament in to make a locating peg, which I don't think you'll see them. That one you might be able to see. There's a little hole.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where you've drilled a hole and then put a filament through.
Yeah.
But I found that I couldn't glue these I couldn't glue these on because I couldn't lift them up and get the glue in. So I thought, well, poo or bust, and I 3D penned them. And there's not an awful lot of gaps, not even the width of your little finger. So there's 6 points there that I've 3D penned, and then again on the inside. And then I wasn't totally amazed until I did this.
Oh, wow.
That's strong enough, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm really, really happy with that. I've still got to sand it down. There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
The blue and the silver bit on the bottom is just, it's bolted in with 3 bolts because it's going to be safer bolted there. If I have that sitting on the shelf loose, it could fall off and break. But both of these rings are 7 pieces. You can see the dovetail joints there.
Wow.
And the same with the blue part. But it's really coming along.
It is.
And what I'm actually working on right now, these, you won't see these for a long time in the issues, in the videos, but these will go on top like that. But there's going to be a hinge on the inside, and it's going to be Arduino controlled so that you press a button and they're going to pop open like that.
Wow.
So, and then there'll be the Lazy Susan on the bottom. This is why I'm so interested in the DeAgostini. I am doing the comparison with the DeAgostini one, which is perhaps incorrect to do that. But I'm looking at perhaps what technology is being used on the DeAgostini one. And the bit
just go back a second about the Lazy Susan. Which one of you are you going to do that with? Are you going to do an electric Lazy Susan that obviously twists?
No, what's going to happen is that the Lazy Susan is there's a company in Germany that sells it. It's about 70. Well, it's 50 or 70, depends on which one you buy. I'm going to buy the super quiet one, and that will bolt on. I'm going to leave the dome there because obviously keep picking it up. But that will bolt. There's holes. It's actually that has been designed to fit this specific Lazy Susan. So that will bolt on, and then what will happen is you'll have either the dome will hold. You've got some the cogs. You'll have a set of cogs that's going to run around the top of the body.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a smaller cog on the inside of the dome.
Yeah.
With a motor, so it's going to turn.
Yeah.
So the motor is going to be in the dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be running. The track is going to be in the body.
Yeah.
And then it'll rotate in the middle.
Yeah. And
obviously the Lazy Susan will stop it from wobbling, or it'll keep it straight.
Yeah.
It'll all come into place, but obviously it's a really slow start. I mean, episode 1 was, here's 2 pieces of dome. We can't do anything with them. And then I started to realize that the body has got so many pieces that I can't possibly go, right, now we're going to work on the body. Right, okay, in this episode, we're going to print some bits off. So the format now is printing something that's relevant to the part that we're working on. Then we're going to do some more work on whatever we're working on. And then we do a print ready for the future.
Wow.
But I'm only spending about an hour or two's work on each episode. And what I'm doing is they're quite long videos at the moment because I'm explaining the techniques. But last night's video, episode 9, I've glued and 3D penned and screwed So because I've already explained that process in a previous video, I've just got straight in there and done it and just speeded up the video and put some nice background music on. So, right, I forgot to go through the comments earlier, for which I apologise about. Are you okay hanging on a bit?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
Hello, Will and Mike Anderson. Right, I'm just explain to Mike, because I don't think I've seen you comment on the live videos before. Well, Mike Anderson, we go through the comments. We won't necessarily go through them as they come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to try and address any comments that are still relevant.
Yeah.
So I will come to you, Mike. So good evening. Look forward to this week's program. What time does it start? 8:30. Roger Kendall says you are well worth the wait. Thank you very much. Comments like that I really do appreciate. I love to hear your honest feedback, even if it's a negative. You know, well, I don't like the show, because then we can use that to improve.
Yeah.
So Richard Coppleston says, looking forward to it. As a bus driver myself, it seems that they change. This is reference to me starting the show late, because I finished a bit later today. Dave says he can't. Sorry, everyone. Dave can't get on the show tonight.
Well, I couldn't.
So David Fenn has joined us for the live instead of the catch up. That's always it's great to see people. Luke's transport videos. You've said any reason why he's not live? I think that's you sent that just before 8:30.
Yeah.
The problem is I could actually have gone out at 8:15. But I figure that once we say this is going to be the start time, then if I then start it early, you know, there might be people have come in at say 8:25, because they think the show's going to start at 8:30. So then they would have missed the beginning. So whatever time I pick, I think it's important to stick to that. So Penny finishes work at 7:45. Do you know what, Chris? You say love the DeLorean lit up behind Horlicks. Horlicks was a little bit fretty about that. He says, "Oh, I haven't put." I said, "Well, get it switched on then. If you want to switch it on, you switch it on." You know, it's nice to have nice things in the background. So what seat? Yeah, I addressed the one about the seat materials. Most of it is just hellos. Paul says another word for shuffle your ass is scrunch. Remember the poles are staggered down the bus. Chris, oh yeah, sorry. Chris Cambling's been building a Lego Saturn V, and I did catch a couple of his builds, and it doesn't actually look like Lego. It actually looks like a model kit. It's so well constructed.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. I have seen snippets of it, and I've seen snippets of other Lego bits and pieces, and they are brilliant.
Johnson Hazel says, are we collecting the 100-year anniversary collection of the RAF? I did explain I'm only going to be doing 3 issues. I've actually got issue 2 in a bag down there. If you want me to, I'll open it up. And the reason I got issue 1 just to see what it was like. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the RAF aircraft. I'm more of a US naval person. Boo hiss, I can hear you saying. The Spitfire doesn't really do much for me, but I think really, if you're going to do a history of the RAF magazine, I think Spitfire is the only choice for issue 1, isn't it? The Halifax, I said I'll have, because the design of the Halifax was the basis for the Routemaster. Had it not been for the Halifax, we may not actually have a Routemaster, because the way it was designed to be lightweight and carry more. And then issue 3 is going to feature the Vulcan, which was my mum's favourite aircraft. So I just thought I'd get that, pop that on the shelf, and that would just be for my mum. So, you know. So hate the screws in the back. They need filling and covering over. Yeah, Fleetwood. That's the screws in the back of the seats. We think there's going to be something going over the back of those. I certainly hope so. Anyway, I like the seats better than expected. Not happy about the back, but this is my first build. Yeah, I'm very happy. So Cheryl's birthday today. Sol says about putting chewing gum under the seats. Yeah, I'm actually going to work on that, because on my Lego bus, there is a little block that represents bubble gum, and it's a nice little. Oh, look, it's even got the bubble gum on it. I'm also thinking about. I thought about this ages ago. I'm pretty sure that between all of us, we must be able to reproduce a 1 to 12 scale newspaper.
Oh, we must.
Yeah.
Yeah, we must.
If we can get an actual front page from some point in the 60s, maybe get a Daily Mirror, because
Yeah,
that would be a typical working man's paper, or the Sun, or something.
yeah,
Get a copy of the front page, put it through Photoshop, reduce it down to 12%, and then print it off. We don't need to copy every single page. We just need a
no,
few pages, and just
yeah,
make a couple of copies of a newspaper.
yeah.
Spitfire partwork would be great. And then I think someone else said, yeah, the Spitfire has been done by Model Space. Actually, if you're still here, Mike Anderson, someone said about anyone heard any more on the Apollo 11. So maybe you want to answer that one? Because I know you did an update video about it the other day. I think it's in test stage, and it's gone to about issue 5, I think someone said. But I don't know anything about that official.
The
Chris
Spitfire's
Camping
been
says,
done. Spitfire's been done by De Agostini.
yeah,
And, it's my son's actually got it.
right. Okay, and what's your verdict on it?
Well, he hasn't finished it. It did about 10 parts, I think it was.
Right, so
And,
not enough to have a real
no,
knowledge.
not really. No, I mean, young ladies and work got involved.
Young
and
ladies. That's the end of everything, isn't it? Young ladies.
So he obviously he put it away and he said, "I don't want to part with it," but he says, I'll do it one day." And
Yeah.
he got all the magazines and all the parts and everything, and he put it away. And his intention is that he will do it one day.
But it's sitting there ready for him one day if
Yeah,
he wants to.
yeah. But it's I think it's about 4.5 feet wingspan or something. You know, it's quite wide is the wingspan.
Right.
It's massive, and it's remote control as well. But one of the problems there was that once it was built and once it was up and flying, you really had to be a professional model flyer to actually fly it, because there were so many accidents with it. It was crashing down to the ground because of inexperienced pilots and problems that they hadn't weighted the Spitfire properly, because they have to have nose weight and tail weight and everything like that. So it really needed an experienced builder. And when you talk to experienced builders about them, they all said, "Oh no, not the De Agostini one. We couldn't do with that. It's not. It really needs tweaking properly by a professional aero modeler to actually get it to fly spot on."
So pretty much in the same way that when we do model aircraft, we have to bung plasticine in the nose because it's always going to tip backwards.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, the reason I asked you what he thought of it was because Fighter Sweeper said the Spitfire doesn't look too good. So I just, obviously, if one person says it's not good, that's an opinion of one person. But if you have sort of 5, 6, 7 people and they're all saying it's brilliant or they're all saying it's bad, then that's a bit more of a researched opinion then, isn't it?
Yeah, the finished model, I have seen a finished model and it looks absolutely brilliant, does the finished model, but to be able to fly it is rather difficult.
Right. Chris Campling says that she's cringing. That's obviously reference to us 3 singing happy birthday to her. I don't suppose for a minute that was pleasant viewing, but so I don't know how old I am. I was a test tube baby. It took me so long to get the cork out. My star sign is Pyrex. And if I miss any of these, I'm just skimming through them. If I miss any comments, I really do apologise. We were talking about me banging my hands. Ian Martin says, hello, Penny. May I say your streams are great to watch, all with Horlicks reviews as well. I've got 39 today. Yes, you may say that. I'm later on. I'm gonna read you a comment that I got on one of my R2 builds, and I'm going to be at risk of having an ego, but this comment came through today and it actually brought me to tears. So Chris Campling says, I have to be careful. Any pressure on the seats and they'll bend the supports. Yes. I'm saying that they are very strong. They are very strong for what they are. But if you put too much pressure on them, they will break. They are plastic. And some of the screws didn't go in really, really tight. They've just gone in just tight enough to hold it, but not really secure it.
I think as a whole, the seats, the only bugbear that seems to be with them is the backs. Where they have them 2 screws in the backs. Perhaps if something could be made to go over there, or the screws taken out and then glued to the back of the seat in the right place, and then a wash put behind there or something, or some filler. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's maybe little bits and pieces that can be done there.
Yeah. Ian Martin has said, I think it was Ian Martin. I've just lost the comment. Ian VLT 290 said, is it next week? Thought it was a fortnightly. Last week, I'll tell you what, I'll find it actually. This is what I showed you last week. If I've still got it. Please say I've still got it. This is a post that I'm not going to give credit to one person because my viewers are so excellent. I actually got sent this by about 4 different people. This is a Facebook post. Oh, sorry, you know I'm not very good with the camera angles. So this is what I showed you last week. This is a Facebook post, which is the dates for the issues that are coming up. So there's 3 dates there where we're not going to be building. So obviously we're planning. We've also, I'll just stop that for a second. With this issue 44, they also gave us this letter, which effectively says the same thing. So next week there's going to be no issue. That's not coming out until the 12th. Then there'll be no issue on the 19th. I'm hoping for a really big guest, but I don't want to say who it is in case they can't do it. But we're trying to get a big guest on, so we'll be able to throw questions at them. And then the 3rd week where we'll have no issue will be the 2nd of January, where we are doing the big quiz. So I'm really looking forward to that. So Dave says agreed. I haven't had Dave Mill officially say yes, he's coming on board, but I'm publicly calling him out. I really want him on if we possibly can, but it depends on his equipment. So no build for next week. So we're just going to be going through the book that I got hold of. I'll have a little flick for you. I found a guy who's got this book. You can't really see it, but it's basically it's a workshop manual which has been created by people who work on the bus, and it's to give you an idea of how big it is. That's it there. So it's not small. So we'll go through that. I've just lost my chat on my other computer, so bear with me a sec, guys. I'll see if I can pull that back. Oh yeah, it's just disappeared. So next week is pretty much going to be just questions and answers and going through the book. Just want to see if you fit the floors of the chassis first and then the top deck. I'm sure we're going to fit the lower deck before we start on the top deck because we need something fitted to, don't we?
Yeah.
So just done that today. I can't remember what that was about. And then we're all saying goodbye to Horlicks. Johnson Hazel's retracted a comment. Oh, Vass. Hello, Vass. How are you? So, oh, sorry, now I'll come to you, Vas. So now we've got Mike Anderson. He's saying about the dome being, um, oh, yeah, no, Mike Anderson, I'm a celebrity is obviously far more important than us. Um, so, yeah, Fighter Sweepers now said don't like the look of the part Spitfire. I mean, that's fine. It's not. I don't love the Spitfire enough to do it. Like I say, I'm not a big RAF fan. So Vas, hello Vas, you have joined us because of Astromech. Now, I've mentioned this on my R2 builds. Through a chappie called Michael Badley, who's designed all of these 3D print files, and the help of everybody. There's a website called astromech.com. I think it's in the descriptions in my R2 builds. As I said on, yeah, I will open up my Halifax plane. So obviously I've been posting links to my YouTube video in, on the forum. People do like their own personal build diary. I'm actually not very good, and I haven't got the time to sit there type and so I just post my video, and it's getting a really good reception. Hello Izzy, how are you? Um, so obviously, like I'm that the Astromech. One thing I really love about them is that I'm asking some pretty stupid questions, and by pretty stupid I mean they're very, very basic questions. I've gone into this R2 build, and once I've started, I've realized I really don't know an awful lot about R2. I know so much less than I think I need to know. So it's made my learning curve that much steeper. I'm having to learn things so much quicker. So this is why I quite often say if I complete it, I think I can do it in the way that I'm learning. But people like Vas and all the other members of the Astromech, they're just like, yeah, okay, the question's been asked, I will answer it. And if there is an answer already there, they will point me to the answer. And I appreciate that. I don't want to be fed the answers. I'd rather be fed a solution of how I can find that myself. How
Yeah.
don't give a man a fish and he can eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he can eat for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see someone like Vas come along and have a look. Obviously, I do the Routemasters and I do the R2 and I do some other projects. I'm going to very quickly show you something that I'm going to do. One of the features of the R2, and everyone who does the D'Agostini will know this, it has a little lightsaber dispenser. And this is a print that I was playing with the other day. And this is Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. It's very boring because it's all in white, but can't find my ruler. But this is almost 12 inches long. To give you an idea, that's it in my hand. It's not small. And I'm currently working on Anakin's lightsaber, but the way that that's printed out, that's a little bit more difficult. No problems, Vaz. Anyone that gives me support, I've got to give support back. It's the morally correct thing to do. And like I say, I probably wouldn't have got that far without the help of the Astromech Club. I just really want to meet some of them in person at some of the meets. So yeah, I mean, my first skill is in painting. I finished my orc the other day. This is the kind of thing that I do. I'm sorry for those that have seen it already. That's really terrible. I'm going to change my camera. So yeah, this is my primary hobby. Painting things like that. Wow. And this one, loads of people would have seen it. But this is my forest troll. And I love painting the figures. And then obviously I primarily got into the 3D printing because I'll show you this one. This is one that I did. Now this cost about £40 to buy. And I could probably 3D print that for about a fiver. And that was the basis that I bought the 3D printer for.
Yeah.
So I've got I've got a couple of nice things, but then I've very quickly realized that the 3D printing, you can get into some really nice projects. So I'm gonna be really annoying with the camera. I've just finished the first part of my paint racks, and that's my paint all sat
Wow.
up on the side now.
That's
And
brilliant.
that's all of those frames are all. So I'm just gonna do a fixed camera. So that's all those frames are 3D printed. These
Brilliant.
are all 3D printed. You've seen my partwork drawers, my
Yeah.
little pillbox holders. These
Wow.
are all 3D printed. And yes, it might be slightly cheaper to buy them, but they have been tailored to my exact specifications, right down to the color of the filament that I use. As you can
Yeah.
see, I like purple, so that's what I've used. um, and then, of course, this project comes along. So something like this. This is a print and paint, so I'm in my element with it.
Yeah.
So right,
Brilliant.
so let's my other YouTube channel, is it still up on YouTube? Yes, I have another channel called Lady Phoenix, which is my personal channel. I don't tend to use it now, but the reason I set up Paint with Penny just over a year ago now, actually, was because I do a motorbike video. I do a video on a spreadsheet, then I might do a painting video, and then I might do a video on a day out to the seaside. So I thought that by having Paint with Penny, anything to do with hobby can come onto the Paint with Penny. Yeah, sorry, Ron Cheeky Crouch says I like the sanitization of making things myself. Right, okay, so let's do a quick unboxing. So this is
Wow.
issue 2 of 100 Years of the RAF. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a criticism or not, but I noticed that the Halifax is not the same scale as the Spitfire. This is a little bit bigger than the Spitfire, but it's 1 to 144 scale. However, the practicalities of a 1 to 72 scale Halifax, you can see they're like 144. Oh, and they've got some stuff on the back. Oh, brilliant. They didn't have this on the Spitfire. So we've got the width, we've got the height, we've got the weight of the engine. Is that thrust? We've got what the engines are, the number of crew, armament. So yeah, a lot on the top speed. So that's quite nice information. They didn't have that with the Spitfire. So, but yeah, the practicalities of doing that in 1 to 72 scale and then giving it away with a magazine that costs £5. So, big question is, will we get a cake picture? Look, we have something. Oh, look, chocolate brownies.
Oh,
Hadley
lovely.
Page, Halifax. Handley, is that spelled correctly?
Handley, yeah. Handley Page.
Handley. It's not Hadley
Yes.
Page.
Well, Handley, but it's definitely Handley Page.
From Hell, Hull, and Halifax. Look, good Lord, deliver us.
Yes.
Oh, see, now this is another criticism I had with the magazine. Issue 4 is a B-17, which I thought was an American, but that one's painted up. I didn't know they flew them as part of the RAF.
It's because
right.
They had a contingency over here, did the American Air Force.
Right. Sol has asked me to put this on the stand. Now, he did question the stand last week with the Spitfire, or was it the week before? And I'd already put it on the stand. So I'm going to put this on the stand for the benefit of Sol. That's quite nice. I like this. The Spitfire one was quite plain. So although this is just stuff that we're going to throw in the bin, it's actually quite nice. So right. So opening carefully. I mean, it might well be that this one will fit in a lot easier. But it's the same principle as the Spitfire. You've got that little tab that points backwards.
Yeah.
And oh, not happy. I've got a missing wheel.
Oh.
And it is completely missing.
Oh dear.
So, see, I had a criticism of the Spitfire. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's on the wonk. The Spitfire, I wasn't sure if this was a defect or not, but it's got what I think is one of the machine guns missing.
Yeah, it has.
And that wasn't in the packet.
Yeah, should have.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. And this Halifax is 2 out of 2 bad. So I've got a missing wheel, look.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably palm that off with saying he's just come back from a mission.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have to. But look, that's bent as well.
Yeah.
So I know these are the cheap start issues, but I don't think it should be like that. The full price, I think, is going to be... There we go. See, that's more of a balance than anything else, but it goes on okay. So if you hold it upside down, it's not staying on, but on the stand, it's fine. Absolutely no problems with it on the stand. So it's a shame because this collection has so much potential.
Yeah.
But look, you've seen my first 2 issues. See, there's actually nothing wrong with that for the stand. The stand works, but yeah, I'm really unhappy with that because that's the first model that I actually wanted. I will drop my line, but
has it got any nose out, Penny?
Yes, it's a Friday the 13th one.
Friday the 13th. Well, Friday the 13th. There's actually Friday the 13th in a museum quite close to here. Well, about 25, 30 miles away from here. It's the only one that's sort of complete. It's actually a mock-up. It's not the real McCoy. It's a mock-up of several Halifaxes. And it's in the Elvington Air Museum near York.
Yeah.
So quite close to here, really.
Yeah, I actually saw this on a program on YouTube. It was on it's on YouTube, but it was made by Forces TV, and it was like secret air bases.
Yeah.
And if I remember the story, they've actually tried to put so much bad luck on this plane, on the art.
Yeah.
There's no bad luck that could possibly get given to them. So they've got an upside down horseshoe.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of pictures of things.
Yeah.
And this did actually survive, didn't it? It didn't get shot down.
Yeah, it did somehow, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're into your superstitions, that worked. By putting things like Friday the 13th and upside down horseshoes.
Yeah.
And this, that, and the other.
I think
I am. If this was the Routemasters, I wouldn't have bought issue 3.
No.
So yeah, I am terribly upset by that. And it's next week now because this came out last week and it's fortnightly. But I'm buying the next issue for my mum. So because she loved that aeroplane. She left us 21 years ago, but and they kept the I don't know if it was like permanently, but they kept the Vulcan at Norwich. Well, there's a part of Norwich Airport that's called the East Anglia Aviation Museum.
Yeah.
And that's where they kept it for a while.
Yeah. It's no Doncaster now.
Right.
The last line
I
one.
lived at. Yeah, that's it. So, if anybody's probably best not to ask my opinion of this magazine, because let's be absolutely fair. It's brutally fair. We've probably had more fun out of the cake pictures than we have the models.
Yeah.
So it's a real shame. Yeah, I think Sol, that sums it up. Looks like the build quality is good, but people packaging them are not quality control.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying any more, sadly. It's a real shame. Because I mean, to be honest with you, it's not my thing. I like to build things, but if I had disposable cash, this would look nice on a shelf. I'm into military things, and if this company brought out United States air, history of the United States aircraft, I'd snap it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to say good things about it. The nose art is really nice, and it's a plane that I've seen featured on a program, so I know a little bit about it.
Are they going to
And
do a
obviously,
Lancaster?
I would suspect they would,
Yeah.
but I just thought this would look really nice sitting next to the Routemasters because there is a link.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know. I will buy the next dish. I will buy the Vulcan, but I'm expecting it to be substandard. So yeah, so I will send them a firm but fair email. So it's not often we talk bad about Partworks. In all fairness, is it?
No, not really.
Even the DeLorean, which is plagued with problems, we're still agreeing as a whole that it's a good Partwork.
Yeah.
So just get this so that we get to see you as well.
That's all right. You don't have to see me.
No, it's the whole point of having you on the show, so we can see you. So I missed that comment. Fighter Sweep says the original nose art from the original Friday the 13th is on display at the RAF Museum, Hendon.
Yeah.
So,
and there is a Halifax being done up somewhere in one of the museums, other than Elvington.
Yeah.
I think it was recovered from some river somewhere, or some lagoon or somewhere.
Oh, this magazine does actually have a page on where to see it, and they've got a picture of the Friday the 13th. Although they were nowhere worthy. There you go. The Yorkshire Air Museum at Elvington exhibits a fully restored Halifax built around substantial portions of various examples, which is essentially what you just told us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Roots Securities built Halifax AVII Special Dewey's of 644. 644, that wasn't. No, that's 633, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's thinking of 633, yeah.
Yeah. That probably wasn't even the right theme song. Yeah, so I mean the articles are nice. You've got Halifax. I'll show you on here, but you've got Halifax milestones and interesting facts. It is a nice magazine. It feels a little bit thin, but the contents. Yeah, no problems, Dave. We'll see you again. Hope we see you next week, but obviously I understand if we don't. Flying the Halley bag. I didn't know it was called a Halley bag.
Halley bag, yeah.
Although, in all fairness, I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to get shot to pieces for this statement. I didn't give two hoots about the Halifax until I started building the Routemaster. I get asked this every week. The other Routemaster that I'm doing, I've not even started it yet. I was going to do the chassis once it was complete, but I've got to be honest with you. I've spread myself so thin. And I'm kind of looking at it now and going, right, we've got the main Routemaster and we're doing that every week. I've still got another 90 weeks, 86 weeks before we're a third of the way through the Routemaster. So there is time for me to do it. And I think I could still eat. My original plan was to have the Newport Routemaster done about 10 weeks after this Routemaster, because obviously the parts that come in issue 130, I've got to sort those out and do the final build.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can still quite easily get it done in that time. So I will be working on it.
How long do you reckon it would take to build one right from scratch if you had all 130 parts? How long do you reckon it would take? A couple of 3 weeks? Or if you
Are
was
we
doing
talking
it?
about doing it with no sleep, or are we talking about so many hours a day?
Well, so many hours a day, 3 or 4 hours
Right.
a day.
I'm gonna estimate. When I did the first issues, when I was doing it, making the YouTube video and bringing it out on a Friday, it was taking me about 45 minutes to an hour to build.
Yeah,
But that was stopping to explain things, and
yeah,
about an hour seems about average. So, shall we say half an hour an issue? Do you
yeah.
think
You
that's
could do.
fair? Things
Yeah, you
like the
could.
wheels, yeah, things like the wheels, we did those in 5 minutes, but there were
Yeah,
some issues we did it in 2 hours. So 130 parts divided by 2, 65 hours. So if
yeah,
you're doing so many hours a day, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks.
yeah, yeah. I would have thought so.
And I think if you collected all 130 issues and you had, God, how big would the box be?
God, it'd be massive.
And you just work on it and work on it and work on it, I think there would be at least 2 or 3 days when you would look at it in the morning and just go, I can't face it. I'm not
Yeah,
doing it today. I'm
yeah,
taking a day off.
yeah,
So I reckon 3 to 4 weeks.
yeah. I reckon so.
So yeah. So Penny, being that you like World War II US Navy aircraft, did you see the new Airfix 1 to 4 scale? Air Fox. Oh, Airfix. No, I've not been keeping up with model kits. And I actually like all US Navy aircraft. One thing I'm trying to get hold of, which is very expensive, is there's a part work that's available from a French company, which is the F-14 Tomcat. I want that with, if I had nothing else ever in the world, I want that part work. But it works out to be about the most economical way to buy it is to buy 10 to 15 issues at a time. And 10 issues with the postage and everything comes to around just over £100. It's about 12, £13 an issue if I buy them in bulk. So I haven't got the money for it. And I think they're about 10 issues from the end. So I don't know if it's coming to any other countries, but I don't know. Yeah, you take care. Oh, Grumman Hellcat. Yeah, 1 to 24 scale would be huge, but it's it's mostly the 80s that I love the best. The ones with the grey top and the white underneath, and I also like the support aircraft, things like the Hawkeye and the Greyhound. I've found those two kits, and I'd love to do those and put them side by side. But yeah, there's a couple that I'm working on. I haven't really got anything to show you, but I'm working. Funnily enough, my favourite aircraft generally is the U.S. Navy, but my favourite specific aircraft is the F-111s, because they were based at RAF Lakenheath, which is where I was born, and they were also the aircraft that did do you remember the Libya strikes in the 80s?
Yeah,
Yeah. And they flew over. I was at boarding school at the time, and it was
yeah,
really fun. I was sitting there. Must have been about 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and we heard the aircraft go overhead quite low, and I recognised them as being that they weren't Jaguars.
yeah,
Jaguars were based at RAF Colchester. I knew they weren't Jaguars, so the first thing I thought of was F-111s, and you just got the feeling that something was going down. And then we got up in the morning and watched the news, and we heard about the strikes on Libya, and we knew that's what they were.
Yeah.
So those I love, and the Jaguar, which is I've been in a Jaguar, and the one that I'm building, I have actually been in it, haven't flown it,
No.
and the Westland Sea Kings from 202 Squadron, because I've been in it. When I was at cadets, we used to do air experience flights, and we used to get half an hour flying every term or every half term. They'd take us to Cambridge, but in the school holidays, my stepfather was worked for the RAF, so he would take me to the base, and you'd see all the ATC cadets, and I would just go to the front of the queue because he's had a word with someone, and I'd have like maybe 2 hours at a chipmunk, and then and they'd all get logged in my book, and the Sea King pilots, they took me up once and they dumped me on a beach somewhere, and then they just flew off, and then they came back and did a pretend rescue, and it was the most exciting thing ever in my whole life, being winched up. It was just amazing. And I went back to school and I had all these pages filled in on my flight log, and everyone was so jealous.
Wow.
It was just absolutely amazing.
With the land being so flat out here.
We used to visit Lake and Heath all the time in the 80s. I used to visit it quite regularly until 2001, when they had the 2001 when they had the 9/11 attacks, and suddenly everything changed, and you can't get on anymore.
No,
which is a real shame.
With the land being so flat out here, Penny, we have.
David, we lost you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Is it you?
I thought you'd gone quiet.
With the land being so flat out here, we used to get the A10 tank busters practicing.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, they was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They used to dive bomb a certain house, and you could see with which house they'd gone for. And we still get practice runs over here now with just the learner flyers from the RAF, and we still get the Red Arrows coming over to practice now and again, because they're not far from us really, as the crow flies, as you would say. And one of my hobbies is I'm a Lancaholic. And
a what? Sorry,
a Lancaholic.
A Lancaholic. I presume that's got something to do with the Lancaster.
A Lancaholic. Yeah. Just let me take you to. I don't know whether you can see that.
Oh, I'm in for a treat today.
Oh, can you see that?
Mm.
Yeah, it's a painting that I've got. So it's a Lancaster, obviously, and I started a project a long time ago, and it was a 90-inch wingspan Lancaster that I want to make, and I still want to make it. I've got the fuselage about done, and I've got 4 engines, and I've got all bits and pieces, but I've boxed it away because I got really fed up with it. And when you get fed up with the project, I think it's just best to just put it to a side.
Don't work on it anymore once you're fed up of it.
Yeah. Don't touch it. And then, when the time's right, and maybe when these buses are finished, maybe I'll go back to it then, because I'll maybe feel like it more then. But it's something I want to do because one of my best friends, who's sadly no longer with us, was a flight engineer on Lancasters. And he actually did 46 ops from RAF Binbrook in Lincolnshire. And he actually bombed Dresden and places like that. So he used to tell me a lot of stories, and he was very restrained. He wouldn't go into very much detail, but he would tell me a lot of detail about the aircraft, about its engines, about setting off for a raid, coming back from a raid, but the raids itself he never used to speak about.
it's funny that, I mean, when I was young, sorry, I'm eating a biscuit. I do
Yeah.
apologise. Um, we talk about the war and that, and people would. When I was young, I mean, I'll start this one again. I've said before that I used to work in nursing homes. Now, when I first started working in nursing homes, the people we were looking after, a lot of them were war veterans. And you look at the people that are in nursing homes now, they were too young to be involved in the war. I mean, some of them were, but
Yeah.
there's not many World War II survivors anymore. And one of the things I think I have a wonderful privilege is saying to people, "Oh, tell us a story about the war." And it kind of rings a bell that you say people wouldn't talk about the actual raids, but people would talk about different stories. Like there was one guy, Eric. I remember his name, Eric. I haven't worked in that nursing home for about 20 odd years, but I remember his name, Eric one, because there was another Eric. He was called Eric also, as opposed to being Eric two.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a bit of a grammar king, you know, and we'd say, "Oh, Eric two," and he goes, "No, it's not two, it's also." I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." But Eric one, he was in the army during World War Two, and he numerous. Well, we'd say, "Oh, can you tell us a story?" And he'd go, "No, I don't want to talk about the war." But there was this one time, and then he'd go into a story, and one of the funniest stories, and I think this is the part you don't get this in textbooks. They've been marching all day long through Holland, and they came to this orchard, and it was an apple tree. I got a feeling I told you this, but I'll carry on anyway. And they said to their commanding officer, "Can we stop and steal some of these apples?" And the commanding officer had agreed, and they uh, they really gorged themselves on these apples. And then after a while, they all started to feel ill, and that was when they realised that they'd raided an orchard full of crab apples, and they'd ate the whole lot. And but they're the kind of stories that make
Yeah.
the history come alive.
Yeah.
Um, but there was another guy. He said that he claims he had the best job in the whole war. He used to fire anti-aircraft guns, and he
Yeah.
says, he goes, "I don't know if I hit anything. I might have killed thousands of Germans. I may not have killed anybody.
Yeah.
My conscience is clean. I've not seen the whites of their eyes. I might have saved Britain on my own. I might have been the most useless person in the whole war. I
Yeah.
really don't know."
Don't know. No.
And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because how do you I don't know what happens after you've killed someone. I know there was no choice. It was them or you.
I don't know how they would live. I mean, it must be no wonder they didn't want to talk about what happened,
Yeah,
how they did things, and who are we to press them for it? We aren't really.
exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I mean, I have things in my life that I don't want to talk about. Not serious as fighting in World War
yeah,
Two,
yeah,
but I expect if someone asks me a question about something I don't want to talk about, I expect them to respect that decision.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
likewise, yeah. So
absolutely.
yeah, good conversation just recently after 11/11, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
right. So
Any more questions or?
yeah, grab Dave while we've got them. I mean, we can always ask Dave to come on again if you feel you
Yeah,
need an extra Dave session. We'll
yeah,
poke him with a stick and bring him out of his cage.
yeah.
So as it's coming up for 11, I knew we wouldn't finish the show on time. Two reasons. There's two reasons. One, I can't seem to finish a stream on time. And secondly, we've got Dave Say on. I can't let Dave go.
It's my fault.
No. It's just that you're such a
my
brilliant.
fault.
No, you're such an interesting guy. You know, we get you
not
once
at all.
every 4 weeks, or in this case, 5 weeks. And where if we do it by the issue number, we're not going to get you for another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like get the most out of you that we can.
Yeah, you'll see me. maybe before Christmas or just after. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you on the 2nd of
So,
January.
2nd of January, yeah.
Because
If I don't see
you're going to
everybody
try and win a
before,
prize, aren't you?
if I don't see anybody before, have a nice Christmas and enjoy yourselves. Don't get too drunk. And do as Martin Lewis says on the television, don't buy so many presents because it's not worth it. You know, spend the time with your family.
I'll tell you what I do with I've got a few close friends that we used to buy like £5 presents on each other. And what would happen is you would spend 40 quid on tat, and then
Yeah,
you would get 40 quid's worth of tat back
back.
in the
Yeah,
form of small presents.
yeah,
So we made this pact that what we would do, we wouldn't buy each other any presents. We would go out and buy ourselves a present,
yeah,
take a photo of it, and then send that photo to everyone in the group, thanking them all for their present. And they've bought it for me collectively.
yeah,
And we've been doing that now for 8 years, and it's brilliant. I guaranteed to get something that I want because I've chosen it myself.
yeah.
What did I get last year? I think it was something. It was something to do with a hobby. It was something I really wanted, like, for example, my airbrush or something.
Yeah.
A couple of years back, I got some figures, but it's always, oh, first Christmas by the sea. I think you trump all of us there, Fleetwood. Right, guys. So I have work in the morning. I've actually been oversleeping a lot in the last couple of weeks. Monday, I overslept, get this, by 3 hours.
Oh
I'm
my
normally
God.
up at, I know, I'm normally up at 5 in the morning, even on my days off. I should have started work at 7:30. I received a phone call at 10 to 8 to say, where are you? And I'm like,
Oh goodness.
oh, yeah, that's some serious oversleeping. So yeah, guys, I actually overslept this morning by an hour. So I
Oh,
got up at 6, but thankfully I didn't start till 7:30. So I
oh
got away
well.
with that one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Well,
I think
we
I'm on an early start tomorrow.
we best cut loose then while we're winning, aren't we?
Yeah, so don't forget, guys, next week we are going to be doing, there's no building, but I'll get my bus ready in case anybody wants to see any bits. I'll get my magazines organized, so if you want to go through any of the magazines, we can. Horlicks, I'll tell Horlicks to sort of get ready with his R2 and his DeLorean and his build, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll get my books ready so we can have a little flick through that. I was tempted to scan them in so that I can show you on the computer, but I did agree to. I can't tell you where I got them from, and I can't share them in
Yeah.
the original format. I can share the information, but not in the raw format. That's the condition that I was allowed to copy them. And is there anything else? We might have the third issue of 100 Years of the RAF as well. But yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for watching. This really wouldn't be a great show without you. I know you all thank us for doing the show, and people like Dave are absolutely fantastic. Horlicks is amazing. But honestly, without you guys, it wouldn't be a great show. So I'm signing off now. I've been Penny, and this is Dave signing off again.
Dave say, see you now. Good night, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Bye bye.